Hi everyone, welcome back to our story called A Bug's Life. Remember yesterday we were reading about Flick the ant and how he was on a mission to go and find some warrior bugs to help the ants fight the grasshoppers who were coming to steal the ants' food. When we left off yesterday, Flick had found some circus bugs who he thought were warriors. A bird came to try and eat them and they all ended up in a prickly bush as the bird flew away. So today we pick up where we left off yesterday. Flick, Dot, and the bugs climbed down from the bush to find the whole ant colony cheering them. What a wonderful sound! The circus bugs had never heard applause before. Right there and then, they decided to help the ants. If Flick could come up with a plan. Flick had a plan, but he knew that the ants wouldn't listen to him. The plan had to come from the circus warriors. Manny was elected to explain the plan to Princess Atta. He told her they would chase the grasshoppers away with a fake bird. The ants stopped collecting grain and helped the bugs build the bird. They liked the idea of little ants defeating big grasshoppers. They also still thought the warriors were heroes. Once the bird was finished, it was raised up into a knothole in the tree. When the time came, Flick would fly it out and give Hopper the scare of his nasty life. Far away from Ant Island, some of Hopper's gangsters were muttering to one another. Why should they go back to Ant Island? They already had plenty of food. Hopper didn't agree. There was that ant who stood up to me, he reminded the gang. If we let one ant stand up to us, they might all stand up. And there goes our way of life. Hopper looked around. Not one grasshopper in his gang dared to disagree with him. Then let's ride, he ordered them. With a loud buzz, the gang took off for Ant Island. Meanwhile, Flick was telling the circus bugs that their work was finished. Now that the bird was ready, they wouldn't have to stay and fight. The circus bugs, however, didn't want to leave. They liked being heroes. Then P.T. Flea showed up. I'm looking for some circus performers, he told the ants. Flick tried to hide the truth, but the ants discovered that their warrior bugs were only circus bugs in the end. The queen ordered the circus bugs to leave and to take Flick with them. Dot wanted to go with her friends, but her mother held her back. The ants knew they couldn't fight the grasshoppers alone. Frantically, they started collecting grain again, but there wasn't enough time. The alarm sounded. The grasshoppers had arrived. Mother, Atta cried, what will we do? But the queen had no answer. Hopper had no mercy. He and his gangsters turned the ants into slaves. They were even planning to squish the queen. When Dot overheard this, she knew she had to do something. So she sneaked away to find Flick. Once Dot convinced Flick to come back, he was ready to fight. She knew his bird idea would work. The circus bugs wanted to help too, but they knew P.T. would say no. So they kept him quiet and locked up in the wagon. Then the whole group hurried back to Ant Island. While the circus bugs were distracting Hopper and his gang with a circus performance, Flick and Dot rallied the ant children. Together they sneaked up to get the bird ready. When Gypsy the moth gave the signal, Flick's fake bird zoomed down from the tree straight at the awful grasshoppers. Hopper and his gang ran. Then P.T. Flea, who had never understood Flick's plan, escaped, thinking that the bird was a danger to them all. He set it on fire. Hopper realized that he'd been tricked. He quickly got his gang back together. Once more, the terrible grasshoppers threatened the poor ants. This time, Hopper's target was Atta. Flick couldn't stand it. "Leave her alone," he cried. Flick's action gave the other ants the courage they needed. Together with the circus bugs, they attacked Hopper. Hopper knew he couldn't survive if he fought against so many ants, but at least he could get Flick. Suddenly, it started to rain, and everyone ran for cover. Atta took advantage of the confusion to grab Flick away from Hopper, but Hopper wouldn't give up. He chased Flick and Atta across the river. Flick got another idea. He remembered where the real bird had its nest. He told Atta where to fly. When Hopper saw the bird, he laughed. "Another one of your little bird tricks," he laughed. But it wasn't. Bye-bye, Hopper. The grasshoppers after that never returned, and the ants never had to worry about food again. The following spring, P.T. Flea's circus set out on a victory tour. A few of the ants even joined them, wanting to see the world, as Flick had done. They left Flick with Atta and the rest of the colony. He would be happy inventing things to make ant life easier. He'd had enough of adventure, and home was where he wanted to stay. The end.